Witches. So today I wanted to touch on a couple methods that you could use to start working on your intentions for this month, because I feel like I've been throwing around like a lot of like weird verbiage like start working on your intention, start living in your intention, and blah 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 blah, right? But I haven't really explained how to do that, so that's what I'm gonna do today. Okay, so just to jump right in, the first recommendation that I have is really low energy and really awesome. It is to make a vision board. Now I know that is a very new agey concept. I just personally really like it, and it really works for me in art school and stuff, and like being just an artsy person. Like I just love Pinterest, and like I can organize things, and it's just wonderful. Yeah, I'm a very visual person, so having that like representation really helps me take something from the metaphysical plane and into our reality. So it's really that, and that's kind of like the principle of magic, is like changing the world around you. Anyways, so I really like Pinterest. It's really low energy. I know that sometimes like it's hard for me to like even think about witchcraft some days, but going through and having like a little witchy Pinterest board, it's just like, you know, a way to dip your toe back in if you are not feeling like doing some workings or anything. If you want to take that concept, the concept of a vision board, a step further, I recommend setting up an intention altar. If you go back to like February, I believe I showed you how I set up a self-care altar, and that is kind of an intentional altar to me. Oh my gosh, that is like such a hard thing to say all at once. But basically, it's just an altar or a space specifically made with the items. Sorry, I don't know why my brain totally like short-circuited. Like with all sorts of items that relate to your intent. So if you are doing a prosperity working, anything that has like herbs that have correspondences with prosperity, probably a lot of the color green. You can have an offering dish where you have an offering to provoke prosperity. So the idea being that what you put in, you get out multiple times over. So it's all about like what you want to do. If perhaps like, you know, self-care is a big one. Again, I have a video on it, but you could have like rose quartz and like an essential oil diffuser or anything that like makes you feel like safe and secure and like happy or whatever. So yeah, that's kind of like the next evolution of the vision board, and you don't have to leave these up all the time. Like it can just be like an altar that you have set up for like a day or two, and it can be changed around just like any altar. But yeah, I really like the idea of having specific altars for specific things. I think it kind of helps us like compartmentalize our craft a little bit, and I just like making things look pretty. So like setting up altars for me is like one of my favorite things ever. So yes, next thing I want to talk about isn't necessarily magical, but it is just to do mundane things, right? So what I mean by that is like make the appointment that you've been putting off. Like, you know, if you're trying to work on self-care this month and you have been considering going to therapy and you're just like, I don't know, this is your sign. Just call somebody, or just, you know, even just open up the computer and like search therapists in my area, whatever, right? It's taking the first step of something. So making the appointment, budgeting out a venture, coming up with a bunch of new recipes that you want to try, like to like if you're working on eating healthier, like for this month, like that's kind of what I'm doing. I've been transitioning into vegetarianism, so I've had a lot of fun finding cool recipes that I'm going to share with some of my friends, and you know, editing my grocery list to match that. So it's been like really fun and really cool, very transformative, which is my whole intent for this month. But yeah, whatever groundwork you need to do right now is the time to do it. So that way you have a solid platform for you to then succeed from. So yes, putting in the work early pays off. So if you are beyond the vision board stage, you kind of already have a good idea of where you want to go with this, which is amazing. What I do recommend is like, especially if you're going for your first spellcraft right now, because this is a creative phase of the moon, the elements of air and fire are very powerful, and they're like, it's good to use those elements in your workings at this time during the moon, just because of the creative and creation associations with this waxing moon phase. I hope that makes sense. So if you are going to do a spell, I recommend a candle spell, or maybe making a dry incense blend. You could also do spell jars and stuff, don't get me wrong. You can do whatever kind of workings that you want if you feel called to it, but I do recommend if you're not sure where to start, maybe look into some candle magic, look into some meditation and like air magic, maybe some like sound workings, yeah. Putting a cool like energizing playlist together, maybe for like if you want to start working out more. just anything like that, I do really recommend doing at this time of the moon. And number 5, finally, I super recommend grounding yourself around this time. When we're doing all of this creative magic and all of this like energy work right now, there is bound to be extra energy that is just bouncing around your house and maybe causing some chaos. So if you're feeling kind of out of balance, if you're feeling, I always get like the jitters. Now, I do drink a lot of coffee, don't get me wrong, but it's different. Like I get this kind of like vibrational feeling throughout my whole body, and that's when I know that like I should have grounded 3 days ago. But if that happens to you, just take some time to meditate and do some grounding. Spend some time in nature this week if you can. I'm trying to this week. And just like, you know, breathe. Like we're all, I see how hard you're working and I'm super proud of you, and I want to encourage you to do that work. However, be sure to take care of yourselves. So I hope this provides you with a good sense of where you can kind of start with stuff. Don't forget your grounding. And just like get it, like what you can start to do during this phase of the moon and like subsequent waxing moon phases. Sorry, there was a like cop that went by and it like distracted me. Okay, so for me personally, I'm kind of just tying up some loose ends on some projects I have been designing for a fashion show, and it is like crunch week for me. I'm trying to get everything sewn this week because I have vacation time. And beyond that, I'm just trying to, I have a couple other little events planned for the upcoming couple of days, meeting up with some witchy people, hanging out with some friends, just trying to like, you know, have a nice vacation. But yeah, I'm feeling good, and I'm gonna ride that good feeling about just like, you know, living my witchy life. So yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.